Hello everyone, this is Gunner, and today we have a Chimera Summer Bash tiebreaker round between Kugath and Kugath, also known as Gangsta Ganon, and champ21bell as that English teacher 89. Both players are fighting for a chance to make it to the top 8 cuts, and the loser goes home. So yeah, pretty high stakes match. Their tournament life is on the line. And yeah, so the first matchup we see is Polar Knight versus Rachel. Polar Knight, I've played against Kuga's Polar Knight before. Pretty good, I would say. Pretty good. Polar Knight, a brawler that puts ice spikes on the board that can pop it for more power. And Rachel is interesting. Rachel is um, kind of a zoner who puts lightning lightning rods on the board that can deal 2 non-lethal damage to the opponent as an after effect if they're standing on top of it. So Rachel has a bunch of like movement effects, different action compression with her UA, and projectiles. So his pole is dropped to try and probably corner Rachel and beat her up. I'm pretty sure I've heard a story that Rachel in playtesting used to have advance on her UA, and that was busted. So she cannot escape from the corner easily, just like a close or retreat. If she wants to escape from the corner, she's gotta play run. She's gotta spend a good amount of force. Or she's got to play Sylphid Flights, which is her teleport. Advance retreat into space, containing one lightning rods, taking her action. So yeah, both these characters having a bunch of text on their cards, so this will be interesting. Polar Knight preps, turn 1. Oh, Rachel gonna spawn her reading. Probably reading Lightning Rod. Ah, I see. Lobelia. Okay, knocks out a sweep from Polar's hand. Has to spend the force for it. Where's the tiny Lobelia? Usually you see reading with tiny Lobelia because the top card of this card will go to Gauge. Oh, um, well, I guess focus should go to Gauge first. I mean, focus should hit the discard and then the cross. So yes, this is correct. Yep, the discard order is correct here. It doesn't matter. The focus will hit the discard, and then the cross will hit the top of the discard for force. All right, so deals 3, pushes him 1, and puts lightning on top of him. Decent start for Rachel, even though a bit expensive. And Polar can respond with Polar Plow. It's got enough guard. Can tank the lightning rod. Notably, non-lethal damage in Exceed counts towards stun. And I think that's different in Battlecon. Battlecon, non-lethal damage does not count towards stun. Or maybe it's the same. Honestly, I haven't played Battlecon so long. I don't remember. But yes, very important to know that non-lethal damage counts towards stun. Also affects armor. So yeah, Polar will definitely have to find a way to close in, either with Polar Plow or with just a good old move action. Definitely doesn't want to stay in the lightning rod anyhow. Staying in the lightning rod's not a good idea. Oh, Polar Knight striking. This is almost definitely a Polar Plow. After close 3, hits full board, practically. Very good card. Full board, pretty much full board sweep is very nice. champ21bell plays something faster than Polar Plow that he can get guaranteed value off of his lightning rod. It will trigger as an after effects, but probably by not doesn't have enough damage to actually stun Polar Plow because it's 6 guard. There we go. Yep, Tiny Lobelia. Hit at top card discard gauge. And she can also, well, what cleanup will come later. But can pop this for 5 damage total. Alright, so known cross is in hand. And then Polar will hit back for 5 at close 3. So definitely not bad for Polar at all. Rachel at 3 gauge, well, 2 gauge is a little worrying. Oh, well actually, let's see. Okay, put Ice Spike behind there. He may place this as a lightning rod. He can also just add it to add discarded gauge, pretty sure. Yeah. Choose to put as a lightning rod behind Polar. Okay. Oh, Rachel boosting plus his speed. Hmm. Plus his speed a little bit worrying, but Rachel doesn't have much of a hand. Can we see a parry? I wonder what he parried. The cross was known, the other two were unknown. I guess he played the plus 2 speed for the freest cross in the world. And probably just CC cards away. Maybe the dive and the ultra if Rachel doesn't want to worry about reading. Or she can do her Rachel action where she can spend a force to retreat 1 and then play dive, 6-speed dive, which is unbeatable. A couple ways for her to go about this. You know what? I actually like that dive idea a lot. However, that does put Rachel at range 1 against Polar, so maybe that's too spooky. Oh, it seems like champ21 also agrees with my idea. Nice. So this is just a free win for Rachel. The best Polar can do is block to get gauge, and he just spent the block, so tough tough luck for Polar here. He's probably just gonna take the 5. Alright, actually does play a focus. Will mitigate some damage. Get him a card, but will miss. Alright, Rachel now has a cross and ultra in hand. Oh yeah, does get the ice spike. That's also important. Alright, Polar's turn. Knowing that Rachel has a cross and a 6-speed ultra. Well, the 6-speed ultra is not relevant here. It only does 3 damage. After advanced retreat, but Polar could initiate strike here and maybe do a little mix up actually. Oh, never mind. Just does a gets a guaranteed reading. Okay. Will do 0 damage. Will not stun Rachel, so she does still get the retreats. Yep. No stun. At least Polar gets advantage here. Kind of low value though. Oh, the assault wall swing actually sabotaging Rachel here because this shovel drop will now do 5 damage. Oh, very bad wall swing. She will assault into that, deal 5, and then Polar can dunk her in the corner on a hit, and then put an ice spike behind them. Yeah, so tons of things happening that turn. Again, shovel drop is a card infamous for having like 5 different effects on it. Alright, we see Polar acceding immediately. Pawn tree gauge. Oh my god, this matchup is just like stuff littering the board. For some reason I just realized that it's just like pure pure nonsense. You can also, let's see, relocate that one last ice spike. Yeah. Maybe relocate it there or there. No, it decides to just keep it there. Okay. Mm, probably Rachel does have the Sylphid Flight teleport though to get out of the corner. It does cost her a force, but lets her take another action as well. Maybe get out of the corner, retreat 2, and then prep. Very expensive, but gets her out of ice spikes. I think he's going for it anyway. Yeah, I think Polar probably should have just moved Ice Spike here, maybe, if he anticipates him teleporting out and then retreating too. Because now it gives her sort of a spot for her to escape. Yep. Action compression, baby. Teleports out, retreats 2, and then preps. Rachel good. Alright, Polar just crossing into range 1. Makes sense. Fairly expensive turn for Rachel, but even life totals and out of harm's way for now. Rachel will have to worry about stuff like Polar Knight Grasp because Polar Knight can order its hit effects and then move Rachel onto Ice Spike and pop it for +3 power. Focuses are very important against Polar actually to prevent Polar from committing his shenanigans where he moves you around. So Rachel dropping the focus for reading early. A bit of a problem. Oh, we see Rachel retreat 1, take an action, and then boost. Initiative, interesting. Initiative with only 2 cards in hand. Maybe has another cross? Could have second cross. Could have stuff like Spike to mix things up. Or even, not sure. Or if we see rebuild, draw 2 cards, removes 1 ice spike, 2 ice spikes to draw 2 more cards, and then draw for end of turn. Yes. And so Polar refills his hand and moves ice spikes that he doesn't want away from the board. Alright, initiative here allows her to hit draw 1 or gain advantage. Pretty good boost because it gives her value on defense as well. She doesn't care about advantage. Could see Champ striking here, maybe with Spike Drop. Actually, Spike Drop actually seems like a fine option to arrange too. 1, 2, 5, 6. It's not a bad stat line. Strike to gain advantage and then maybe prep or something. Or it can just prep here. I mean, totally fine. Just, the plus of speed and the draw 1 is still relevant. Very relevant because she's low on resources. Yeah, just preps. Okay, text the initiative. I think that makes sense. Polar still has 1 more stomp that Rachel has to keep in mind. But a stomp will do 0 damage. Stomp cannot stun anything unless he actually boosts power or pops an ice spike. But it's still a DP. Alright, Rachel just refilling her hand. Could be a good opportunity for Polar Strike here. Um, or... Hmm. Shattering Stomp is also a good option here. To put down 2 ice spikes that are off the board back on. This matchup is kind of annoying though, because Rachel's just gonna float around to any space without an ice spike. Or we see Polar striking. Could be a shovel slam even. Oh, no, it's a cheeky spike. Champ21 plays the second cross to get out of the way. However, Polar still gets his ice spike, so not a big loss. Yeah, that cross was very safe unless you anticipate Polar crossing out himself, which is not likely. I mean, Polar could also play Stomp, but gets pretty much no value. Well, I mean, it gets him a gauge and it can get an advantage. So you know what? Maybe Stomp actually was not a bad idea there if you had it. Okay, Lotus Barrel. Placing a lightning rod underneath him. With that lightning rod being, what card do you put under there? I think one of the Lobelias. Wow, Polar doesn't care? This feels like a second Polar Plow, but low damage. Actually, no, it could be a Shovel Drop as well. Shovel Drop actually makes a ton of sense. Yes. Initiates Shovel Drop, and Rachel probably can't stun him, and cannot move him as well. However, Rachel can and will pop this Lightning Rod though. Yeah, this feels like a Shovel Slam to me. Polar Plow loses a lot of value when Ice Spikes are between him and the opponent. Oh, oh, snap. Wait, oh, this is very bad. The dive, actually. Wow. Excellent read from champ21 there. Playing the dive to... He risked Polar playing his own dive, but this dive does 7 damage and will pop both Shovel Drop and, what is it, Polar Plow. So really well played by champ21 there. The 7 damage dive coming in big. Now, Rachel's in a really good position to take this game. With 3 gauge and up 11 life. Just have to be careful. Polar can and will blow you up. Rachel prepping here. Giving Polar a little bit of time to mount to come back. Ah, we see an EX. This has to be Shovels. Yeah, there we go. Shovel Slam. Spends a force. Okay, so can remove the Ice Spike underneath him to push or pull 1, and then remove Ice Spike under, probably push Rachel maybe? Or pull? Push. Push, and then pop it, and then place Ice Spike adjacent. Oh, actually, maybe better to pull. Pull, remove, pop it, and then place the Ice Spike underneath her because it's adjacent. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe better to pull. However, after all that's said and done, after all those like million effects, is 8 damage incoming. Champ21 smartly blocking because Polar has no way to ignore armor at range 1. His only ignore armor option is on Shovel Drop, which we'll miss. So that block was pretty safe. And an expensive turn for Polar because Rachel's going to negate a lot of damage. Yeah, I remember Kugath did this in our game where he initiated EX Shovel Slam into a block also. Sadness. Because he really wanted to EX this card to give it enough defenses because it's only 3 guard. Very iffy. It's an amazing card with EX, but solo, it's tricky to play. I think champ21 was taking 2 right now. Thinking of maybe blocking all of it. Doesn't have to. Probably. I feel like taking the 2 damage, getting the block to gauge is also perfectly fine. And then Polar is only 9 HP, so Rachel can close out the game with Tempest Dahlias as well. Oh, right, it was Shovel Slam was 9 damage, I see. Yeah. Because EX and plus 3 power. 9 damage Shovel Slam. So Rachel will take 1. Rachel's turn. I think she has 1 Tempest Dahlia left. She spent the other as Force. Has a nice life lead, but has to find a way to close out the game. Oh, interesting. Spends a Tempest Dahlia for Force and an EX attack? Oh, this has to be known. It's either it's either Lobelia, it's either one of these Lobelias. Probably the one that is it flying? The one that pushes. Flying Lobelia will put Polar on the lightning rod and then do 6 damage total. And Rachel's so expensive, but she's so good. Just need to be able to, as long as you manage your resources properly, she's just a very flexible character. The only thing she lacks it for is damage, but her damage is not a problem if you can keep triggering lightning rods. Looks like it is the Lobelia for the push. I kind of lost a little bit track of what cards she keeps returning to hand, but yeah. Kugath determining what's left. Oh, Kugath forced a wall swing here. Will not pay out. We'll have to spend the force. Uh, okay, spends whirlwind as force. Okay. Wait, no, he has to spend force spend. Has to spend a force from gauge. Yeah, the force he spent is going to be on the board, which is the whirlwind from hand. Okay. All right, puts the lightning rod on top of him. Maybe? Again, has to put lightning rod within range of the attack. No, any space within attack range. One. Yeah, okay. It's on range 5. I know a common mistake that Rachel, I see Rachel's make is that they put lightning rod in a space that's like invalid. Yeah, Tiny Lobelia can only place lightning rod range 3 to 6. Flying Lobelia places a lightning rod in ranges 2 to 5. Alright, we see a rebuild come out again from Polar. Desperately trying to find answers to come back to this game. 3 HP, not where you want to be. However, lightning rod does do non-lethal damage, so at least it's not so doom and gloom for a Polar here. I have made the mistake, me and Cpat made the mistake of thinking lightning rods actually kill people, but they don't. They just do non-lethal damage. I don't think Rachel has anything that hits here though, other than Baden Lily. I think 2 Tempest Dahlias are down, all the projectiles are down. We're just sitting on range 6. Might Rachel might reconsider reshuffle here to get her options back. I think a reshuffle from Rachel here would be wise, unless she has a way to close out the game with. Oh, striking. Okay, is this just Baden Lily? 4 power Baden. Either that or it's a projectile that could be a projectile I missed, and then she picked back up from a lightning rod. Because her cards just like go on the board and go to hand, and vice versa. So Rachel's kind of like 9 in that aspect, where just like cards are just moving all over the place. Okay, yeah, it is the Lobelia. So, yep, the Lobelia will. Yeah, he must have got a Lobelia earlier from Lightning Rod. But it will do 3 damage and then 2 non-lethal if he pops the Lightning Rod. And also push one? No. The other one pushes. Right, she gets Gauge. She may put as a Lightning Rod. But yeah, that's how Rachel can keep looping her projectiles. Like, um, because she shoots a projectile, it places itself down as a lightning rod, and then she triggers the after effect of her lightning rod. Then she can just get it back and just keep looping projectiles that way. All right, looks like Polar spent 2 force to block all the damage. 6 armor. Snow Slash, an expensive block. Wait, Snow Slash should not go to Gauge. Snow Slash shouldn't go to Gauge, right? It has to hit, unlike a block. Unfortunately, yeah. All right, and expensive block from Polar, unfortunately. Maybe we'll have to reshuffle here. Rachel doesn't have. I wonder what's the lightning rod underneath Polar. Is it just another projectile? I've been losing track. I'm doing a bad job tracking these Rachel projectiles. No, I think that was the whirlwind. Okay. Yeah, that was the whirlwind underneath him. So therefore, Rachel does not have anything that hits from this range for now, except for Baden. Okay, Polar moving to range 3. Certainly better than range 5. Wait, but Rachel has whirlwind right now, right? Does she just mash it here? She could just mash it, and Polar has to have an armor option or die. Rachel could also do a mass CC if she wanted to. However, if Polar has another reading, could be a problem. Yeah. Um, Sometimes opponents can be generous and allow um, people to like take back their mistakes or remedy what they want to do on the turn, but champ21 is also right, where Kugath already drew for end of turn, so should not be able to spend for one more force. So yeah, following by the rules, Kugath is screwed at range 3 here. Kind of. Yeah. I know he's very tempted to just mash the whirlwind he has in hand. Alright, maybe we see a mass CC here. Oh, never mind, just prep. Huh, weird. Alright, Polar boosting his block and boost. When he hits spend any amount of gauge for +2 armor per gauge spent. Uh, Strange boost considering he has no gauge. Alright, we see Rachel teleport, taking her action. Likes the range 2. Not just preps. This block and is pretty useless right now, considering Polar has no gauge to spend. I don't think Polar has any way to generate gauge other than rebuild outside of combat. Oh goodness. think drew 11 instead of 1. Alright, just put the 11 back and shuffle and draw 1. Mm, that looks like 10 cards. Oh, okay, kept the leftmost card. That's fine, I guess. Alright, Polar takes the reshuffle action. I think that's correct. But Rachel has another chance to capitalize because this boost right now is still not doing anything for him. Alright, Rachel, retreat 1 and boost +2 power. Okay, we're turning the 5 damage whirlwind. That can sustain the +2 power. Whirlwind above curve, low damage, but the hit effect is quite good. Her continuous boost synergizes with not only normal boost, but also continuous boosts that function as like trap boosts. I think she has Gypsophilia, Ivy Blossom, George 13. They're all continuous boosts that are put on the board. This game's taking longer than I expected. Oh, Hail Mary reading. Hail Mary reading. Lance. Okay. Not a bad combat win. I still don't know why the block hand was boosted, but maybe he thought it was force instead of gauge. Okay, Rachel, continue to boost +2 power. Still threatening the 5 damage whirlwind. Polar definitely has to move out of range 2 to 3. Well, actually, at least try to. It's gonna be hard though, because Rachel can just do her thing where she just retreats 2, takes another action, and then she mashes whirlwind. Just guaranteed sort of like checkmates that way. Yeah, like Polar moves 1. If Rachel's worried about Stomp, she can just retreat 1 and then play Whirlwind. Can't spend Force from Gauge. Her Gauge doesn't do anything for her right now because all her ultras are down. And her Overdrive, I guess her Overdrive's pretty good, but pretty expensive. EX? EX Whirlwind? That would be 6 power. Yeah, EX dive won't do it. And that is, yeah, the EX whirlwind, the whirlwind was known, and then champ21 drew the EX afterwards. So yeah, 6 damage whirlwind will close out the game, and game one goes to champ21bell on the Rachel. Rough spot for Polar, honestly, not much he could do there. He could try and like desperately change cards to get more blocks, but otherwise he was in a pickle because Rachel can just guarantee her a whirlwind on her turn as long as she has the resources. Just retreat 2, whirlwind. Retreat 1, whirlwind. And yeah, not much Kugath could do about that. Rachel retires, and now what are the remaining characters? Let me see. I know Chap 21 has a Gordo, which is cool. Alright. Chap 21 can choose between Zangief, Plague Knight, or Gordo. And Kugath can choose between Vega, Polar, Arakune, and Merkaba. I know Chap 21 has been doing really well on Plague Knight. So maybe we'll go 2 to Plague Knight for the second game. But we'll see. Maybe he will pleasantly surprise me and play Gordo. Always like to see more Gordo gaming. Oh, thank you. And that game was fun. Disappointed I couldn't beat Carmine, but hey. That one game was pretty close. Not bad. And my Gordo could also pull in more work. 4-0 right now. Feels good. I think all my characters are actually undefeated except for Propeller with a crippling 0-3 record. Very awful. Maybe I should not pick Polar for the rest of the tournaments, but he's so good though. Man. Seems like champ21's taking his time to pick this character. Feels like he's hovering and debating. Just play the Gordo, my man. Okay. Looks like Kugath has already made his selection. Gordo versus Vega. Ooh. Now this is a cool matchup. I think it's potentially very interesting. I've never played it. I expected to maybe play it when I ran to Kugath. But Gordo actually has This is a very interesting matchup because just looking at it, like Vega can be a stat monster and has dangerous set play when he's in the corner. Spooky specials, but Gordo has ways to uh, peel Vega off of the wall. His both of his project both of Gordo's main projectiles pull, and Gordo also exerts a lot of hand pressure on the opponent. And Vega, with his tight economy, might struggle. So it's hard to say who comes out on top here. Vega's burst of power at alarming speed is worrying for Gordo. Like Gordo has to make sure that his guard doesn't get popped. Alright, and Vega will have player one. It'll be interesting to see how this match turns out. Will Vega immediately perch himself onto the corner? Gordo can play around this by initiating a fireball on his turn if Vega decides to camp the corner. And at range 6, I think only Crystal Flash hits? Crystal Flash and Barcelona both hit at range 6. So actually, yeah, Gordo actually should be careful because unfortunately Gordo's fireballs both have 4 guard. I really wish he had like one more guard in there. That would have been nice. But hey. Yeah, Vega with 5 power, Crystal Flash when he sets his attack for the corner. No bueno. No bueno. Crystal Flash will also push 3, which actually helps Grim Reaper hit. So alternatively, if Vega assumes the corner turn 1, then Gordo can just simply air dash or respect in to exert some pressure. Because if Vega is camping a corner and you go up close to him, then usually it's much better than keeping distance or mid range from him. Because if you keep close to him, then quite a lot of his like mix up stuff like shuts down. Scarlet Shower is always going to be fast if he crits. Uh, but rolling Crystal Flash, Sky High Claw is very risky. Barcelona turns off. Barcelona just makes him fly across the board and miss. So yeah, you can basically if you pressure Vega up close in the corner, he can't do as he does have as much freedom to just run mix-ups. Like for example, Pounce is ridiculous, but Pounce is like his biggest threat at close range. Pounce and only Pounce. Alright, we see Vega jumping to the corner turn 1. That makes sense. If Gordo feels cheeky, he can initiate with a slow if he expects Vega to come in. Maybe Gordo action focus, bait out rolling Crystal Flash or flying Barcelona. Yeah, Gordo could throw a mix up here with a projectile or a slow, or he can just opt to move in. Hopefully champ21 mold his hand to anticipate Vega taking the corner turn 1. It's a very important skill in Exceed actually, especially when you have player 2, where you want to mull your hand so that you can effectively respond to what the opponent does turn one. And if the opponent preps turn one, well, just boost or something, or move to a good range. Hmm. Champ21 debating. If you think Vega has rolling Crystal Flash, can initiate with Gordo Active and Slow to trade positively and burn a card from him and cause him to leave the corner. It would be risky for Vega to play Barcelona on defense, just because it's only 3 speed. Could get easily stunned out by Gordo's projectiles. Stunned out and outsped, rather. Oh. If the match continues at this pace, I might have to leave early. But probably keep the recording running. Like, I know both players want to win very badly because this is tournament life on the line. But also, you should have anticipated Vega moving to range 6 and have a somewhat of a plan for this immediate action here. Like, Vega playing backstep turn 1 is just such a standard Vega play. Maybe champ21 has some analysis paralysis. Not sure what's the best course of action. But he should have some sort of plan. Just realized Roller Crystal Flash is 7 speed, 105 spaces. That's funny and kind of crazy. Come on, man. You can do it. Be brave. Initiate mix up. Or just move in. Tactical. Okay. I'm not too opposed to this. You could initiate with Mortal Slide and only Mortal Slide. But it won't gain Gordo advantage. Even though it will peel him off the corner. If Vega has a slow... Oh, interesting. Okay, I like this. The pull 4 will save him from retaliation. I think only pounce is the only option that will hits after pull 4. Yep, it is the Mortal Slide. Pull 4, no discard, but Vega will take 1 damage? Yeah. Alright. Um, Thankfully, Vega didn't have to pounce, because pounce would actually punish this play very heavily. Because what pounce does is, because Vega gets his bonus from just setting his attack on the corner. So if he pulls pounce in, pounce will do 7 damage and force Gordo to discard a card. So good thing. So Gordo was a little bit fortunate that Vega did not have that card. Because if Vega did, it's a 3 for 7 trade with a discard. Very bad. But yeah, to be fair, this play was also fine in that it beats everything else. There's nothing Vega can do other than play pounce or block against this play. So not bad. Vega's turn. Boosting Mask. Doesn't power plus 1 armor. And if you're not stunned, you may spend 1 force to sustain this card. Alright, we see Respect go off, forcing Daring Vega to strike here. Ooh, at range 1 as well. This could go. This could go very bad for Gordo. If Vega gets the mix up correctly, could stun the hell out of him. Or maybe Gordo just has focus. Actually, focus is just totally fine here. Focus is one of the best defensive cards in Exceed because it has 5 guard, 2 armor, all the defenses you could want. Even a 7 power sweep cannot pop it. So yeah, if you ever are worried if the opponent can bust your guard, if they have plus 1 power, just play focus, and that will usually work out. The cleanup effect encourages Vega to play it slow because that would basically ensure that Vega doesn't get stunned. Because if he does get stunned, he won't be able to keep Mask. Vega could like initiate a cross as well to get closer to the corner and avoid slows on Gordo's end. Stop looking at Gordo's cards. The only relevant threat is Mortal Glide. The rest are like projectiles and precise. I guess precise aim is fair to worry about if you're thinking about a sweep, but he has to have the second one. And it has to be a hard read on Gordo's part. There we go. Finally a strike. If Gordo wall swings here, that would be crazy. Alright, he does not. Plays a grasp. Oh, second grasp. Try to catch a cross, but instead is met with a slow, and will trade very badly. The pull is relevant, but Vega's gonna end up in range one anyway. Just put him on that side of the board. Well, depends if you want him close to the corner or not. All right, and then Vega will hit back for 6 and pull a card at random. Gordo loses dive. And Vega can spend the force to sustain mask. Nope, decides it's not worth it. Mask is a pretty expensive boost to maintain. Court action here, strike. Feels like a cross to me. As a sweep, okay, fair enough. Both sides take 4. Of course, the optimal way is for Kugath to discard a card first. Alright, discards Scarlet Terror. And Crystal Flash. Alright, 2 Vega specials down. Not a bad pull. Okay, even on resources. Vega a bit ahead on life. Vega probably should and prepare often, just in case, because you don't want to be Vega against a Gordo that's starving your resources. So probably Kugath should try and prep ASAP. Gordo's low resources as well, so Gordo will have to prep as well. He's striking though. Oh, I'm disappointed it's not a bloody high claw. Alright. Initiating with cross works out. Beats Gordo's wall swing cross. Actually, a smart decision there because Gordo was down both grasp, so there's no way for Gordo to outspeed that cross. Gordo range 3 though. Has a range 3 mix up he wants to initiate. And Soul Exodus is online. However, Soul Exodus will lose a little bit of that gauge refund value because um, the opponent must, on hit effect, the opponent must discard 2 cards. For each card discarded this way, add the top card of your deck to your gauge and gain advantage. So Soul Exodus refunds the gauge you spend for it. However, it requires Gordo to discard 2 cards, the full 2 cards from his from this hit effect. So Gordo must do this weird thing right now because Kugath only has 2 cards. Gordo must do this weird thing where he must decline to use his UA if he wants to Soul Exodus and get 2 gauge back. Really weird, I know. Maybe has best maybe just prep. Yeah, just prep. And then get the full value of Soul Exodus next turn if you have it. Soul Exodus is an underrated ultra because you see that 1 damage you think is pathetic. But it being a free ultra that gains advantage and drains you point of a bunch of resources is quite good. Quite decent, rather. Oh, interesting. You see a fadeaway, retreat 2, take interaction. Court action strike. Is this? Oh, is it going to be second mortal slide? Could also be rusty nail if could be a rusty nail if he's worried about no rolling crystal flash would still outspeed rusty nail. Yeah, that's a problem. Royal Crystal Flash will be 6 speed now. So Gordo just initiating in hopes of Vega not having an answer. Splendid Claw can be very deadly here. However, risky against the threats of Mortal Slide and Rusty Nail. Alright, Vega Wall Swing. Ooh, Scarlet Terror will not be enough. No, it hits. Griever hits. Scarlet Terror closes too. Yep. Ah, the Grim Reaper. Kugath will take 3 and also discard a card. Well, 4. And Gordo gains advantage. And a prep. Okay, makes sense. The Grim Reaper works out here because the minimum range of Grim Reaper is very relevant. Sometimes Mortal Slide, like it has 4 to 8 is amazing range, but it can be surprisingly easy for the opponent to duck underneath the minimum range of 4 if you're not careful. And Grim Reaper fixes that, range 3 to 6. Ooh, we see a Vega Exceed. Pretty expensive Exceed, but gains him monstrous stats if he can set attacks from the corner. The question is, will Gordo be able to stop Vega from doing that? Well, he can try and rush down Vega before he can get going. Let's see. Gordo initiating strike here. Could be a slow or Mortal Glide mix-up. We did see Gordo spend 1 Mortal Glide as fade away, but could have the second copy. Don't worry, Kugath. I assure you this is not an Ultra, considering Gordo only has 2 gauge. A little bit worrisome for Vega, actually, being such a resource-intensive character. Hopefully, Kugath's Exceed won't come back to bite him, because spending 3 gauge is a pretty steep cost. Crit? I don't see a pounce. Okay, fair enough. The pounce will trade a little bit, will trade favorably against the focus, yeah. Will discard, well, the hit effect of pounce goes first. Yep. Alright, pulls a cross. Pretty good pull. Ooh. Drops a bloody high claw. See, uh I'd rather see Kugath spend the gauge for bloody high claw instead of his Exceed. Just because bloody high claw is 7 damage and the fastest thing here because Gordo has no grasp. Wow, this strike initiation is very frisky. Wow, the dive to get the corner? Initiating dive to get the corner? Wow. Wait, assault should go to gauge. Yeah, this is suddenly not looking very good for Vega at all. I think, yeah, initiating that dive and spending 3 gauge to exceed might have cost him. Now he's only 2 cards to his name. And then Gordo can do really nasty Gordo things. Crush strike. Maybe just assault. A simple assault will do. Assault. Maybe a cheeky spike. Or a dive. Oh, he's playing from hand. Oh, he's assault. Okay. Alright. Gordo's. He took the 4. I'm pretty sure Gordo was at 14. Was he? Yeah, okay, looks correct. Alright. Gordo will gain advantage. And veil off. I mean, exceed. Alright. So Gordo can discard all of poor Vega's gauge and hand. Alright. Plays wall leap to advance to the corner. Hopefully can find value from. He has no pounces. No Barcelonas. He has like 1 Scarlet Terror and stuff left. The problem is Vega can't even crits if Gordo drains him all his gauge, so which he should do, by the way. It'll be prudence if Gordo takes advantage of Exceed mode and prevents Vega from even possibly critting. Alright, the Gordo action begins. The Gordo Exceed action begins. Alright, I think Gordo should be prudence and burn his last gauge. If you don't worry about the relevant crits here are Sky High Claw and Scarlet Terror. Scarlet Terror becomes above curve. Just preps. Okay. Not what I expected. I think it would have been better if Gordo eliminated the possibility of crits. Because now, yeah, Vega only has 2 cards, but like some of his stuff become online with crits. Hmm. Vega, I think, made a mistake exceeding and going for that risky dive. But if Gordo isn't careful, Vega still has the opportunity to blow him up with his exceed side. Gordo kind of letting Vega back into the game just by like not depriving him of his last gauge. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would do as Gordo here. Depends what options Vega has left. I'm not been like 100% keeping track. Scarlet Terror is probably the biggest one that if you can just eliminate the threat of, then you're fine. Gordo can maybe like back up to range 5. Well, you wouldn't have to worry about 6 speed, 7 speed Scarlet Terror if we had removed the last gauge. But nowadays to worry about it makes it more of a headache. And then like both pounces are down. So Vega's only guarded option, guarded special from the corner, is down. So everything he has, like if you tack on +1 speed to it, 5 speed Scarlet Terror, 4 speed Bloody High Claw is like trivial. Like the speed you can don't have to worry about those speeds. Because his slow side, the mix up pounce is gone. If only he removed the last gauge, but like the reason I think he's taking so long right now and like putting himself in a headache is because he didn't remove the last gauge. Well, there we go. Never mind. All right, last gauge is gone. And now, if he wants to take advantage of Gordo's UA, he could revert and take another action. Interesting that he dropped what is it? A Bloody High Claw? I don't know what his other card is. He's hanging on to a card. Just chooses to prep. Right? Vega choosing to reshuffle to get his options back. I think that makes sense. Because like most of it is down. And Gordo can't hurt your cards here. Oh, striking. Doesn't revert before doing so. Wow. That that's a spike. A spike should go to Gauge. Wow. And now Gordo is in prime spot to win here. Alright, I don't mind this +2 speed boost here. Gordo can burn that one card in Vega hand, forcing him to wall swing if he wants to. But yeah, it looks like Kugath is playing very Jesus take the wheel here with Vega, especially since he has no resources left. Yep, we're going to see the card in hand discarded. Right, Assault. Gordo could tech it, strike. Don't think he has very many options left though. I think like both his assaults are down and such. Maybe Gordo has reshuffle if he wants to close out this game. Okay, Assimilation, advance 2, take an action. Preps, okay. Of course, Vega will prep as well. Maybe trying to find his tech hits here. The +3 power +1 speed is incredibly deadly though. Okay, we see a revert, makes sense. Ah, interesting. Snatcher. Gets rid of the dive. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So that Vega cannot dive out the corner against the slow. Rolling Crystal Flash will be 5 speed. But that's very easily beaten. Well, I don't know which one's, I don't know which one's correct. We're getting rid of the dive or crystal. I think getting rid of crystal flash eliminates it becoming a problem later on. But getting rid of dive means that he can't escape from like a Gordo focus. Alright, Gordo action strike. I'm guessing has to be a slow like a focus to beat crystal flash. So yeah, it's a focus. Alright, Vega gets out. Gets the hell out of there. Gordo will miss and draw one. Not the most ideal card for Gordo, I mean for Vega, but gets out of the situation. A better card would have been 8 damage pounds. Huh. We see the Devourer boosted. I guess he has a second Rusty Nail to his name. Has to be. And Vega's still sticking at range 6. I think both Grim Reapers are down. One Mortal Slime might still be alive. Gordo is running out of options. Maybe he has to reshuffle or change cards soon if he cannot kill off Vega quickly enough. Seems like champ21 is probably going to take the reshuffle action. And Kugath is looking at his discard. Hmm. What is going on here? What's taking so long? Oh, it's still Gordo thinking what to do on his turn. Okay, we see reading. Oh, what the hell? The reading lands, but it's against a focus. I guess it limits the possibility of a reading. But Mortal Slide will only do 3 damage. And Vega gets the card. It's not the worst for Vega, really. Huh. I will say Gordo is at range 7. I mean, if Vega wants to take the corner, Gordo will be at range 7. And then at that range, only a second Barcelona will hit. So that is a problem. Considering that Vega already spent 1 Barcelona just to get out of the corner. But yeah, I guess if you wanted to, uh, if he was worried about something like Crystal Flash, then the reading makes sense. Okay, you see a Claw. 0-1 range and all attacks are critical. Incredibly good boost, but expensive. And turns on more of Vega's options. So like for example, Vega takes a corner and then rolling Crystal Flash can hit because he has 1 extra range. Vega only at 3 HP. Um, However, Gordo finding the last 3 points of damage might be difficult. With Vega having a lot of threats online right now. CC1 to draw 2? Is that like his no normal? As a courtesy, champ21 could tip his hand, but doesn't have to. Can force Kugath to card count if he's a sadist. I assume this CC1 to draw 2 is like the no normal. Okay, okay, that makes sense. So it's just specials that don't hit. A couple blocks. Okay. A couple of tech hits. Doesn't want to get red and blown up by a Barcelona. I appreciate players tipping their hand to speed things along. All right, Vega taking the corner. I think the only thing that will hit here is either a Crystal Flash or a Barcelona. Tech hit, tech hitting the boost and striking with block doesn't seem like the right thing to do, but it would be funny. Okay, Barcelona's 10 power when Vega succeeded. Jesus. That's enough. That's enough damage to kill Gordeau. Hmm. These players said they were fast. They lied to me. No, I'm kidding. I think they made no promises about how fast they would play. I feel like tech hitting it, tech hitting the boost and then wall swing might actually be totally fine. Force force Vega to have the second flying Barcelona. Oh, we see a CC. Two, draw three. Discarding one. Okay, I think that's fine too. Discards dive. Doesn't want to get red, presumably. Okay. Kugath flag. Makes him draw 10 million cards again. Hmm. Hopefully he remembered which cards he threw. Thank you. Anyway, back to our scheduled programming. Vega boosting +2 power. Tech hitting and striking. Tech hitting the extra range. Oh, interesting. Hmm. Assimilation forward? Surely not, right? Just like tech hitting the claw at range 7 and forcing him to have Barcelona, the second copy, seems like fine to me here. Or just boost to range 1. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Well, essentially just spend 6 force. Spend 6 force to move to range 1. Parry's block. Gets rid of one defense option for Gordo, and also one tech hit. Kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Maybe Gordo can risk it all, risk an attack hit. Now strike. If he tech hits the claw, then he doesn't have to worry about 7 speed Scarlet Terror. And he can comfortably, and he also doesn't have to worry about the crit +2 armor on Pounce. So can comfortably initiate maybe with Mortal Glide. Yeah, just tech hit the claw, and most of your problems will go away. I mean, the +3 power is still a problem. The +3 power from Vega's UA is still a problem, but Vega's only at 3 HP. So therefore, you don't need to worry about Pounce unless there's attached armor on it. So yes, just get rid of Claw and then play Mortal Glide and see if he has the answer. Mortal Glide or something some other fast option. You don't want to play as slow as Gordo because doing so, playing as slow as Gordo would mean that you would get blown up by almost a lot of Vega stuff because he has +5 power right now. Hmm. A lot of indecision here. Look, getting rid of Claw will eliminate most of your problems. So just stack hit it. If only he could hear me right now. And I think the Mortal Glide is known in hand, so just tech it and Mortal Glide right now. The worst case scenario is Vega somehow has second grasp. Oh, the fadeaway. Okay, now we see the tech hit. Okay, maybe it's assault now. Okay. Okay. And then if it's assault, that makes a lot of sense here. Blows his whole hand, but wants to win it off display. Yeah, nothing Vega will do can outspeed an assault, so I think an assault makes a lot of sense here. Even with +1 speed. Does Vega have an answer? He has to focus, block. Assault is really the only thing that makes sense here. Looks like he's considering to wild swing. Hopefully the set ends here, because I gotta go, because... Alright, Kugath still thinking. It's a mix-up. So you have to call it the mix-up. If you answer to assault, play it. If not, just wall swing. But if you think it's something tricky like a spike, then play the beat spike. Um, what's this? He dealt cards. Oh, searching his discard. I see. I thought it was from his deck for a moment. Yes, the deal button is right next to the search button. It's a common mistake. All right, he's going for it. Ah, yep. His wall swing and his hand did not beat assaults. Only 5 speed. Yep. So that turn took a while, but champ21bell did the math. Closes the game with an on-curve assault. And yeah, well done. Looks like the Rage 1 Mortal Glide would have worked as well, but didn't want to worry about Second Grasp, I guess, because Second Grasp would make Gordo cry. And yep, good games. Trev21 takes the game 2-0 and will probably move to top 8. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.